Hey guys, how's it going? OPB here, coming at you with a quick video. Today I am going to be talking about jump off points for what I would consider when you should bug out. Obviously, take this as you will. Your situation may not be the same, or these situations might not be an issue or even a thought to consider where you're at. It might not be relevant to you, but it's just some things that I found as a general umbrella of things that you should keep an eye on for what you should evaluate as your bug out indicators. Okay. So first off, I'm going to start where most people live, in a suburban environment, outskirt-ish of town, not quite rural but not quite city kind of thing, maybe in a new subdivision, kind of generally where most people are at. First things you should look at scenario-wise is supplies. Are things starting to go bare like they are already? At least in my area, I've noticed that. Crime rates. Are crime rates higher? Okay. Are police walking off the job? Are auto thefts increasing? Break and enters, are those increasing? Drug use, is that increasing? Drunken idiots, stuff like that, right? People just making poor life choices around you, is that on the increase? Are people doing things that are questionable? Maybe there's an increase in teenagers causing trouble or playing mailbox baseball or what have you. Stuff like that. Even the petty things, like, are people's gardens shovels starting to go missing? Right? Small things like that. If that's on the increase, small things will lead to big things, right? So keep a note of that. Another big one, again, as I was saying with the police presence. Is there too little or too much police presence? For example, one of our bug out indicators where I used to live were convoys of police. Now granted, there was a police station nearby, but it doesn't normally occur like this. You'll normally see one, maybe two cruisers at a time together, because they'll probably end shift, meet up somewhere, have a coffee or whatever, and go back to base, so to say. But when I started noticing 4, 5, 6 cruisers in a row, all together, like bumper to bumper, like they're driving together all the time, that's when I started to question what was going on in the area, which is one of the main reasons why we left. Okay. I've yet to see a police car where I'm at now. The closest police station, again, is like half an hour, 45 minutes away, so they're not out patrolling. That being said, my neighbors are Amish, so you can't really, right? So there's that. If you look at, again, as I was saying, shortages, both fuel. If you start noticing gas stations are starting to run low on fuel, if you notice that places that are normally fairly well stocked for groceries or lumber or tools or even clothing, that could be a factor. Although clothing wise, I think there'll be a supply of new clothes far into SHTF. I think that there will still be stores that have brand new clothes 15, 20, 30 years down the road after the collapse. Now, there might be smaller towns that have closed, but there's still be clothes on the rack, right? I'm not trying to be doom and gloom here, but for example, I don't know if you guys watch, I don't normally watch TV, but I kind of binge watched this one when I was sick a couple of weeks ago. The Walking Dead. In one episode, they're walking through a clothing store, whatever, looking for like a birthday gift or something like that. And this is like a couple of years after the event. Obviously, we're not gonna have zombies, guys. It's not a thing. There was brand new clothes. Now, obviously, Hollywood, but it's logical to assume that there would be at least some new clothes sitting around. So, as you have it, I don't really think that should be a huge concern. But if you start seeing hyperinflation on clothing, that's more of a global or national or regional thing. Stuff like that. Military presence. Where I was, there was a few military bases surrounding the area. So that wasn't really a thing. We used to always see trucks going back and forth, like it was whatever. But if you start seeing like field hospitals and MRAPs and labs or Bradleys if you're in the States, or I don't know, whatever, BTR 80s if you're in some old Soviet bloc countries, or Lynx or what have you, right? If you're seeing that kind of stuff, then take note of it. Granted, it could just be a training mission, or they could just be moving. That happens. There's been a couple times that I'm driving down the road and I'd pass an armored column, a mechanized infantry column, right? That happens. They move from training area to training area. Like, it's not a big thing, but if there's frequently that going on, then that's definitely something to pay attention to. Shutdowns of businesses was another one. Granted, given the current situation, a lot of businesses are folding, which also means lower income in the area, less business, less traffic in the area, so things start to get run down, right? There's no commerce in the area. That was one of mine for where it was. Now, it's not really a big one, but increase in death. If there is just people dying randomly, I think you guys can understand what I'm getting at there. That's definitely something to look at, take note of. Those are honestly the big ones. Now, on like a local scale, on a national scale, and maybe even an international scale, weather patterns. If you're in an area that doesn't frequent tornadoes, and then all of a sudden now you're starting to get tornadoes or floods or landslides or freak snow squalls, like stuff like that, take that into account. Now, yes, granted, it's natural, like it happens. Weather patterns change in certain areas. I believe actually in the US right now, they had just spoken about the possible shift of Tornado Alley. I think they were saying it was shifting west, but I'm not 100% there. It happens. Like, the jet stream changes, weather patterns shift. It's natural. It's been happening for thousands of years. Things like that. Flooding that doesn't go away, that's a big one. Or increased flooding. If you're in an area that floods occasionally, like, yeah, some places are just low-lying, they have bad water tables or high water tables, right? It happens. Stuff like that. But if you know it's going to be a rainy season, maybe that's a bug-out indicator. If you start noticing the water's flooding, oh, well, that creek over there, that's starting to rise a little bit too soon. Oh, that road's washed out. It doesn't normally get washed out. Oh, boy, this thing's got an extra foot of water on it this year. Maybe you should probably start slowly moving. Don't wait till the water's up to your mailbox, right? Kind of thing. that's more like a weather pattern indicator. People moving in and out of the area. Is there a lot of houses for sale that aren't reselling? Is there a lot of people moving and increase in homeless people in the area? That's a big indicator too. Was also another reason why we left where we were at, on top of a few other things. But those are what I would recommend starting off with as bug out indicators. Obviously, foreign invasion, civil unrest, and all that stuff, those should pretty much go without a shadow of a doubt. That's honestly where I would start. From there, you can obviously spider out to things that are more specific to what you are. That's kind of just like a general umbrella. If you like this content and you like what you're seeing, you can check me out over on BitChute. If you wish to leave a donation to the channel, you can leave it there on BitChute. There's a link to my PayPal there, and you can also check me out on Patreon. Subscription there starts at $1.50 Canadian a month. It's not really much, and there's different tiers. If you wish to donate more, that would be greatly appreciated. It helps grow the channel, helps me create better content, gives me some more time that I can put into this and grow the channel. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. OPB out.